going?
If you're watching on Periscope, feel free to leave your comments, questions right there on the search bar. We'll be seeing those, answering those here in just a little bit. We are welcome to this special Tuesday night edition of a live forecast discussion of Hurricane Matthew. We also have ongoing severe weather right now across the plains. But first, let's get you guys the latest information on Hurricane Matthew. It is still a Category 4 storm right now with winds of 140 miles an hour. I mean, that's pretty insane. It is about to be coming across portions of eastern tip of Cuba tonight and moving into the southern Bahamas in the overnight hours. So those in those areas, you're going to be in for a rough night. And yes, I am. Thank you for asking. So what we're looking at is right now, Matthew, what about north of Bahamas? We're going to get to that here in just a second. Excellent question. Right now, again, it's moving north at 9 miles an hour. We're expecting it to make a more north-northwestward turn, more north and northwestward turn here over the next day or two. It is supposed to maintain its Category 4 status through the next 2 days, and then we'll see some slight weakening as we're going to have some wind shear from the southwest kind of come and weaken it slightly as it approaches the east coast of Florida. Hurricane warnings now in effect for basically the entire Bahamas, all of eastern Cuba, all of Haiti. Hurricane watches in effect from Deerfield Beach northward through, I believe it's like Titusville, also includes the Lake Okeechobee area. The Florida Keys right now are only under a tropical storm watch. Tropical storm conditions likely there within the next 24 to 36 hours. If this takes a more westward track, once it emerges off of the coast of Cuba, we could potentially see some of the Keys maybe get under a hurricane watch or maybe even a hurricane warning. It's all going to depend on the exact track. The eastern side of the storm is definitely the strong side of the storm with this. If you take a look at the satellite imagery, Jesse, can we pull that up? The satellite image. We'll get a satellite image here up.
I'm coming. Hang on. Which one did you want?
Satellite image. If you go under data tools.
Got it.
Imagery. Perfect.
Oh, whatever.
Then go down to Caribbean.
Okay.
Scroll down to Caribbean on the left-hand side.
Got it.
And then go to visible image.
Visible image.
And click that. So, yeah, I mean, obviously we're starting to lose daylight there. My pleasure. Thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate you guys taking the time to join me tonight. Definitely got a lot going on. A lot of the heavier convection is on the eastern side of the storm, and one thing I wanted to go over that kind of shows us this too is the current wind field. Right now, a lot of the winds, the stronger hurricane force winds, if you look at the wind history, you'll actually see that. Let me share this here real quick. Boom, there we go. Okay. So if we look here at the wind history, you can see that a lot of the winds are more on the eastern side of the center. You can tell by the large orange area. Anything far north to push it east. We are watching an upper level trough. That's what's going to eventually be swinging Matthew back to the north and northeast. So we're definitely going to have to, keep a close eye on the situation there with Hurricane Matthew. But right now, the wind field, a lot of it is on the east and north side. That's why the National Hurricane Center probably hasn't issued tropical storm warnings or hurricane watches for the Florida Keys due to the fact that a lot of the heavier stuff is typically in the northeast quadrant. So let me pull this back up. I lost you guys there, Ben. Steven, are you on here with us?
What?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So we're also Hurricane Matthew is not the only thing that we've got going on right now. We also have ongoing severe weather in Kansas and in Oklahoma right now as well. So we have 6 severe thunderstorm warnings right now on the board. We did have a tornado warning earlier. But right now, no tornado warnings, just these 6 severe thunderstorm warnings across the area that you can see.
Where is
There is one severe thunderstorm warning. Can we go down to the one that's just on the southwest side of Oklahoma City?
Yep.
Yeah, because that one, I mean, that's going to be coming up into the Oklahoma City area. And what are we looking at hail size there on that?
That is 1 inch.
1 inch hail right now. Okay.
100% possible, 40%
Yeah,
severe.
60 mile per hour winds also possible with that storm. So definitely folks in OKC need to be prepared for a severe storm to be rolling through here in the next hour, within the next hour, I'd say. So definitely watching that. If we continue our journey to the north, we also have a couple more severe thunderstorm warnings across portions of northern Oklahoma. We have a severe thunderstorm warning there for Alfalfa, Grant, Garfield, and Major County. That's till 8 o'clock Central Time. And we also have another severe thunderstorm warning till 7:45 for northwestern K and northeastern Grant counties. So a lot of severe weather going on as well. And the reason I mentioned the severe weather is because this whole system that's bringing this severe weather, it's all associated with an upper level trough. And basically what's going to happen is this upper level trough is going to end up diving off to the east and southeast. And it's really going to depend on the timing with where Matthew's at. And that is what is forecast to end up once Matthew gets near the southeast Georgia coast. We could see. Excellent question. Tropical Storm Nicole. Someone just asked, will Tropical Storm Nicole affect Hurricane Matthew? The answer to that is yes, it does have impacts on its steering. That's one thing that's kind of helping to guide Matthew. It's going to end up turning Matthew to the north and northwest tomorrow. And then if that that storm's not really expected to strengthen very much, but it is expected to kind of move parallel with Matthew off to the northwest. And then Nicole's just going to kind of meander there just southwest of Bermuda. Not really sure where it's going to go after that. May just kind of fizzle out there once Matthew gets caught up in that upper trough and kicks out to the northeast. Jesse, can we go back to the forecast cone for Matthew? So I want to point something out here with the forecast cone. If you've taken a look at it, once Matthew approaches the coast of North South Carolina for its potential landfall, the reason they have it speeding up from 2 p.m. Saturday, it's projected to be near Wilmington, North Carolina. But by 24 hours later, it's projected to be just off the coast of Long Island. And people are like, whoa, why in the world it's going to move so fast? How's it going to move so fast? Well, it's all because of that upper level trough that's going to be digging across the eastern United States. Landfall is possible, certainly not out of the question. We could actually very well possibly have 2 landfalls with this. We could have a landfall possibly along the east coast of Florida somewhere, maybe near Cape Canaveral, maybe just north. And then it could end up coming back off over the waters and then making a second landfall around the North Carolina-South Carolina border, maybe further north, maybe the Outer Banks. Again, really depends on the exact track and speed of the storm and the position of the trough. If the trough is a lot more negatively tilted, it could really kind of kick it out. If it's not as strong, it may keep it further offshore. But again, we're really gonna have to wait and see till probably tomorrow night. Definitely by Thursday morning, we should know whether a Florida landfall is likely or not. They do have hurricane watches. Even if there's not a landfall, guys, we all know that there's going to be very significant impacts for the entire Florida East Coast. Is it likely to diminish by New York? As of right now, the National Hurricane Center still has it as a hurricane off of Long Island. So it will weaken. It's not going to be a major hurricane by then, but it could be a hurricane.
I'm looking.
No, I'm definitely glad you guys are asking your questions. That's what we're here for. We're here to answer your questions and try and give everyone as much information on Hurricane Matthew as possible. Stephen or Ben, do you guys have any questions here on the Google Hangout, or any thoughts?
Well,
you guys are thinking about Matthew.
Well, the main thing that's
Hurricane Matthew. It's kind of interesting that they name names. They name names due to hurricanes. That's it's like, what? I'm Matthew and I'm a hurricane, and everything like that. But people got to be prepared and be ready to evacuate due to the hurricane, because this hurricane won't be messing around with anyone. It'll probably do some major damage and flooding, that's for sure.
Yeah, question was just asked, do you have any updates on the death toll from Haiti? As of the latest, we do not. There is not a count. There are confirmed people missing in Haiti, but we do not have a count on any sort of death toll coming out of Haiti. I'm sure that in the coming days, we'll probably start hearing some sort of reports coming out of Haiti. You have to remember, they don't have the same communications that we have here in the States. So it takes a bit more time for information to get from there over to us where we can get it out. But definitely right now, Haiti is getting absolutely walloped by Matthew right now. The worst of it's probably already moved through, but the northwest side of Haiti right now is still probably getting hit pretty hard. Southwest side, you're just beyond the worst of Matthew. And, they don't have really good structures down there either. Obviously, their infrastructure, they don't have really building codes or anything like that like you would see in places like Miami, Florida, or really anywhere in Florida. The building codes and buildings being rated for different storms and stuff like that. Ben, do you have any thoughts on this hurricane? This is the first major hurricane to potentially make U.S. landfall, if it does, since 2008, I believe, was the last time a major.
There was one thing that stood out to me about it, and that was how slow it was moving. As Jessie put it, it was. I like the way she put it. She said it's moving slower than a snail. I can't remember the last time one moved that slowly.
Yeah, hurricanes it's not like a tornado where it moves at 30 to 60 miles per hour. Hurricanes they can move
moving a good bit quicker than that.
It is moving pretty slow, and the movement of the hurricane all has to do with the upper level wind field. Right now we have really calm upper level winds, and very little wind shear across the area, which is one reason why it's moving slow, and it's allowing it to maintain such strong intensity as a Category 4. Once the hurricane starts interacting, though, with those faster upper-level winds associated with the upper-level trough, that's when we'll see it begin to pick up speed. And also, once it rounds the ridge of the Bermuda High, that it's right now going still around this southern periphery That Bermuda high is supposed to build westward, which is another reason that Matthew is forecast to come pretty close to the east coast of Florida. And, depending on how much that high pressure builds in, if it builds in a little bit further west, then we'll possibly have a Florida landfall. If it doesn't build in as much, it may keep Matthew even further on the coast. You have to remember that, the cone of uncertainty, it's a cone. You can't just track just the center. You have to remember how big the entire wind field and the rainfall and the storm surge can have. You don't have to be right near the eye of circulation to get a 10-foot storm surge. If you're on the northern side of that storm, you're going to get storm surge. You're going to get flooding rains. You're going to get beach erosion and coastal flooding. All those different things. You don't have to have a direct landfall to have very significant impacts. And so anywhere along the East Coast, that's why they issued the hurricane watch. There's more to hurricanes than just the wind. Absolutely. Jesse, are you still with us? I think she stepped away there for a second. Keep asking us your questions. Those watching on Periscope, watching on YouTube, feel free to just leave us a comment. You can also ask questions. You can also ask us questions. Great question there. Why is South Carolina in a state of emergency and not Florida? Florida actually is in a state of emergency. The governor declared a state of emergency. What was it? Yesterday, I believe. Yeah. Florida's in a state of emergency as of yesterday.
Yeah, the governor of South Carolina, I think it's either South Carolina or North Carolina, is going to be starting a evacuation from tomorrow for about 1 million people from all along the coast.
Can you say that again, Ben?
I said it's either the governor of South Carolina or North Carolina is from tomorrow going to be authorising a mass evacuation from all along the coast, about 1 million people.
Gotcha. That's a voluntary evacuation, I'm assuming, or that's not mandatory, right?
I think it's a mandatory one, actually. He's ordering it from tomorrow.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, I see it here. Okay, South Carolina is going to be evacuating the coast. Let's pull this up here. Come on. Florida Governor Rick Scott also activated the National Guard. Okay, I don't need this. Man, I hate these things. Okay, so here's what we've got. South Carolina has announced a full evacuation of the coast. President Barack Obama canceled his Wednesday night rally for presidential candidate Hillary Clinton in South Florida. State of emergency have been declared for all of Florida and South Carolina. Parts of Georgia, North Carolina are also under emergencies.
Hey, Joey, what part of are you in that emergency or no?
No, not here in Atlanta. It's probably, I'm assuming, the Savannah, Georgia area, the coastal sections of Georgia.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I am from Atlanta. I'm going to be going out towards probably near the Charleston area on Friday, Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had someone from Periscope asking.
Oh, okay, Periscope. Woohoo! I like Periscope, buddy. I do.
Yeah, it's pretty great for sure.
I mean, had it off my phone for a long time, but now I have it back on my phone.
101 on dispatch going 10-7 for dinner.
No, I totally forgot I had my Zello still on. Great. Hold on.
I'm gonna probably go busy, so I doesn't.
Yeah. Okay, so Governor Nikki Haley said a complete evacuation of South Carolina's coast will take place on Wednesday. 1.1 million of the Palmetto State 4.8 million people. Our goal is to make sure you get 100 miles away from the coast. After a state of emergency was declared, Haley's evacuation order will also close all schools and government offices in the counties that will be cleared out before Matthew arrives. On Monday, Hilton Head Island suspended work on a $21 million project to dredge sand from the ocean and rebuild the beach on the resort island as state southern tip until the storm passes, according to the Associated Press. Charleston Southern University, College of Charleston, Coastal Carolina University, and the University of South Carolina will be closed for the rest of the week, reported by the AP. The South Carolina State said a college football game against Bethune-Cookman scheduled for Saturday has been postponed. So that's for South Carolina. Florida, Governor Rick Scott announced the activation of 200 Florida National Guardsmen. On Wednesday, another 6,000 members of the Florida National Guard have been placed on standby in the event of a large-scale evacuation. We cannot rule out a direct hit on Florida, Governor Scott said. Taking no chance with the storm, calling it catastrophic, according to NBC News. He urged residents to be prepared for the worst. If it is our state, we could see impacts that we have not seen in years. Again, Georgia, here we go. Officials on Tybee Island are monitoring the changing forecast and said they plan to decide on evacuations by Wednesday. This weekend is one of the busiest of the year due to the Pirate Fest, with up to 20,000 visitors expected to partake in the event. Interesting. This puts added pressure on authorities to make a quick decision if they're going to postpone or cancel the festival. They're waiting to hear from the city on Tybee, and they'll follow the lead. We've got several employees, and we'll be calling our guests to advise that there has been a mandatory evacuation if it happens. North Carolina, Governor Pat McCrory declared a state of emergency for 66 counties in central and eastern North Carolina, according to the Associated Press. Obviously, a lot of people, I'm sure you guys have heard about the Guantanamo evacuations. Oh, 15-foot storm surge at the Bahamas. That is definitely going to be pretty bad out there, for sure.
50 feet. Wow, that's
15,
high.
15-foot storm surge likely there, maybe a bit higher across the Bahamas tomorrow.
That is a big surge.
That is pretty big.
Some residents in Florida are already evacuating to Pensacola, Florida. Yeah, there are some of the islands there of the Bahamas. They're really, really shallow, just a couple feet. I mean, a lot of Florida is, some places in Florida are only 6 feet above sea level. So, I mean, this could really do a number even to Miami, depending on what the storm surge is like, how close the storm is, whether it's high tide or not, the strength of the winds, how much water all gets pushed in. All those are different factors on there.
I hope Orlando and Disney World isn't too near the East Coast.
Ben, your mic's a bit quiet there, my friend.
No, I was just saying, I'm not sure how the proximity of Orlando and Disney World is to the east coast of Florida. What are they going to get into it?
Yeah. I mean, It's going to be very serious along the entire east coast of Florida. Definitely. If the eye follows the whole East Coast, will that potentially be worse than a direct landfall? Very potentially, yeah, because if the eye is able to stay off the coast and it doesn't have to interact with land, that could very well keep the hurricane stronger over the long run than if it were to make a landfall and weaken. So that's one reason why National Hurricane Center still has Matthew as a hurricane, even by the time it gets up toward the northeast. And yes, we will be keeping you guys posted. So feel free to follow us here on Periscope. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're watching here on YouTube right now.
Hey, Joy.
What's up, Steven?
Depending on the weather, how things look for Friday, I'm hoping that we get to go to Billings. But weather-wise, depending on weather, snow and rain, if we got anything going on, it depends.
Right there, Tornado Chaser 99. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry, Steven. Go ahead.
Depending weather-wise, I'll have to let you know if we're going to be going or not, depending on Friday if we go or not. I think I know tomorrow's supposed to be snow and rain here in town, so we'll see how that goes. So we'll have to watch the weather and see how things look for Friday.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
313, you can cancel the whole thing. He's actually at the Evergreen Motel, which is in the county. Third Fuller, thank you. You can put that in the notes. Third Fuller, please.
Good evening there, Mart Live.
You know, it never pops up on my side that you're on Periscope for some reason. I'll have to go in there and see why.
That's a great question. How are you doing?
There we go.
Oh, you got it there, Steven. I see you.
Oh.
Hold on 1 second. Oh, where'd my headphones go? Yeah, there we go. Right now, the hurricane is headed toward the Bahamas. Oh, hey, Martha. Awesome. I had to switch over to my headphones so I don't get feedback here on Google Hangout. I've got so much going on here right now. It's kind of crazy. A lot going on.
Ooh.
That's the one thing I don't like about Periscope. The comments don't stay up long enough. I sometimes miss them. So if I miss your question, just type it again there, then I'll be able to see it. So. Let me post this on here.
Jessie's been gone a while. I hope she's okay.
Good evening, Harold. All right. We still have 10 severe thunderstorm warnings on the board right now, guys. 10. That's a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings.
I'll be hung up for just a little bit.
Ooh.
Hold on 1 second. I'm not sure if I lost that or what, but I need to close out my Zello.
Hey, Joey, kind of be watching Oklahoma when you might have something here.
Gotcha. I lost my Periscope. I got to restart it. Yeah.
Look at the.
Jessie's just gone on busy mode.
Yeah, she just went 10-7.
For
Yeah.
She sounded a bit something's up with her. She sounded quite emotional just now.
We got a guy in Tulsa, Oklahoma that might have something that's either forming or something like that. I'll check on her in a little bit to make sure she's okay.
She's all right. She's just dealing with Colin right now. That's all.
Oh, okay.
And she sounded quite distressed, or upset even, giving the impression that something not good has happened. Might have jumped the gun a little bit, but there was quite a noticeable quiver in her voice.
You know, someone asked about Tropical Storm Nicole. It does have 50-mile-per-hour winds with it right now. It is expected to move to the northwest, basically parallel with Matthew, and then kind of, again, kick off to the northeast. Right now, I expect to stay south of Bermuda, but it's going to be interesting to see how Nicole affects Matthew for sure. As of the latest, it looks like with Matthew, looking at the wind speed probabilities, east coast of Florida definitely almost guaranteed to have tropical storm wind speed probabilities. Storm surge. This is something else I wanted to talk about because a lot of people kind of almost forget about storm surge and the threat for storm surge. So here's what we're looking at with storm surge.
Joey, can you tell me what county Tuttle, Oklahoma's in?
Say that again.
Tuttle, Oklahoma.
I'm not sure what county that is. I know downtown OKC is under a severe thunderstorm warning right now.
Because I got a storm chaser live on Periscope that's running to his vehicle right now.
In Tuttle?
Yeah, Tuttle.
Okay, stand by. Let me look that up. I'll tell you exactly where it's at. Okay, that's in Grady County. That's in North Oklahoma.
Okay.
That is correction. That's no, that's just southwest of Oklahoma City. Just southwest of Oklahoma City, Tuttle, Oklahoma.
Okay.
They are under a severe thunderstorm warning right now. That area until 8:15 CDT, so for about another 12 minutes. Tuttle, Oklahoma under severe thunderstorm warning. They did have 1 inch hail report out of Tuttle.
Okay, we got a rotating wall cloud. That was near.
Man, there's so much going on right now. So much going on, guys. It's crazy.
Okay.
2 hours till the 11 p.m. advisory comes out. That's going to be really important tonight. If you guys would like to join us here on the Google Hangout, if you go to our Facebook page, there is a link where you can join the Google Hangout, come on air, ask us your questions. Also, if you're watching on Periscope, feel free to just ask us your questions there as well. Or you can just go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/extreme weather videos, and just drop us your question there. I'd be glad to answer it. Had a lot of great questions already so far tonight.
All right, left side of the stream, we got a lowering.
Whose stream are you watching right now, Steven?
I'm watching this guy on Periscope. His name is Casey Billings. Okay, Sergeant, now blaring.
Is that in Tuttle?
Yes, sir. Sergeant, now blaring.
Let's take a look at this radar here in the Oklahoma City area. All right, hold on there, guys. Here on Periscope, let me flip this around for you guys so you can see exactly what we're looking at. Okay, so this is, here we go. Come on, let's go back to, there we go, KTLX. So there's our storm right there. There is a little bit of an appendage on it. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Wow, this is
southwest. Generally, intense wind out the northeast going back southwest.
Is that guy still in Tuttle there, Steven?
Yeah, Jeff Piotrowski, Jeff Petrorowski.
Jeff Piachowski.
Yes.
So I'm gonna have to. I'll
Oh, Jeff Piachowski.
back here. Okay, I can't hear you guys here on Google Hangouts right now. Just give me just a second. Nope.
Ready, ball 2981. See my number under.
Yep. Jeff Petrowski just reported sirens going off in Tuttle, Oklahoma. That is correct at this time.
In the same as a large rotating bowl, there's a large cone forming.
Okay, I can't hear you guys at all here on the Hangouts, so I'm going to try and refresh.
Circulation RFD is nothing in on the southwest field. The wrap here is now this big RFD rotating around, and this is a hard RFD coming in. This is a gush front RFD right here, and this is wrapping in like this. So it's got circulation going on the tunnel area right now. Again, no tornado, but the circulation is right in this general area. And I'm going to hand this back to Kathy, and I'm going to continue to go back.
Wow. Is that confirmed on the ground, Stephen?
No confirmed tornado on the ground yet.
Sounds like it's sure trying, though.
Yeah, he's I'm gonna keep a really close eye on this because it's definitely starting to look interesting here.
Oh, give him where it is. I hope it doesn't touch down. Oof.
All right, there, guys. I'm back here on
Hey.
on the Google Hangout. Sorry about that.
All right. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you guys just fine. Can you guys hear me?
Yep. Loud and clear.
Awesome. So again, sirens right now are going off in Tuttle, Oklahoma. This is on the southwest side of Oklahoma City. There are hail reports coming out of the area, 1.5 inch hail, 1 inch hail. The storm's still showing 1.5 inch hail. Let me real quick show you guys the radar here.
I believe there were reports of a large rotating bowl or cone trying to form out of the wall cloud.
RFDs RFD in Tuttle, Oklahoma now right now. Rear flank downdraft in Tuttle, Oklahoma right now.
Hey, is great, I just lost it. Oh, here we go. Look up Brett Hendrickson's live stream on Severe Studios. He's just east of that. Brett Hendrickson. He should be basically, I don't know, he might be able to see something. It's probably dark out there by now, though, isn't it? Sunset was probably like half an hour ago. So chasing nighttime tornadoes, guys, not the greatest idea. Let me just tell you right now, okay? So don't try it. Okay, let's take a look at some of the rotation stuff on this storm here. So let's take a look at the base.
Where did you see Brian Davidson?
Brett.
Brett.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is where we're
I
seeing.
don't see him on, Joey. Hang on.
Maybe he's not. At least on GR level 3 was showing him as streaming. Brett, B-R-E-T, Hendrickson.
I got Nathan, JC, John, Corey, Brett. You said Brett.
Hendrickson. H-E-N-D.
Got him now.
Yeah, he's the one. He's just on the eastern side of where that rotation's at. I mean, there's definitely something here on the base velocity. Let me check the storm relative velocities. Yeah, I mean, there's some rotation in here. It's not really coupled together very well, though. There's some spread in between the inbound and outbound winds. There's not even a mesoscale marker on this right now. So keep an eye on that. Definitely keep an eye on that.
Okay, tight circulation.
This storm is going to be approaching Moore, Oklahoma, eventually. Somewhere between Moore and Valley.
No. Not more again.
Well, right now it's not even tornado warned, so that's a good thing.
Let's hope it stays that way. I don't think we want to be seeing more Oklahoma getting smashed again.
Yeah, let's not do that. That would not be very good. South 47 moving east in Tuttle. It is South 47 moving east in Tuttle. So yeah, we interrupt our Hurricane Matthew coverage to bring you some breaking news out of Oklahoma right now. We've got a pretty severe storm here in the just southwest of Oklahoma City. Are there 3 warnings on it or 2? Southeastern Canadian County till 45. Okay, so this one was just recently issued. Yeah. This storm has golf ball size hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Golf ball size hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. It is moving east-northeast at 20 miles per hour right now.
Oh, wow.
Locations impacted include southwestern Oklahoma City, Mustang, and Tuttle. There's also another severe thunderstorm warning for southern Oklahoma County, northwestern McLean County, and northeastern Cleveland County, also till 8:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts are possible with that storm. This one's moving east-northeast at 40 miles per hour, so a bit faster.
Funnel.
Whose stream are you watching there, Steven? What's the guy's name? Just kind of curious. Are you watching Brett's stream?
No, I'm watching this guy on Periscope.
Well, what's the guy's name?
His name is Jeff. How'd you say
Jeff
that?
Piotrowski.
Oh, that's Jeff Piotrowski.
Piotrowski.
Yeah, okay. Jeff Petrowski reporting a funnel now north of Ridge Creek, Oklahoma. Is that Ridge Creek or Bridge Creek? I'm assuming it's
I think
Bridge.
he said Bridge Creek.
Bridge Creek. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. There are all sort of chasers out there on that storm right now. You should see the chaser convergence right now on that storm.
Well. We have another guest with us.
Awesome.
Ah,
Welcome.
Jacob.
Hello.
Hey, Jacob.
Hello.
Hey, Jake. What's up, man?
Nothing much, just chilling.
Nice. So we're tracking a severe thunderstorm right now southwest of Oklahoma City that has a reported funnel cloud by Jeff Petrowski.
Oh, boys. That's not good. Where is that?
Just southwest of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Oh.
There's quite a few people out there. Mike Scantlin's out there.
Watch it.
Lawrence McEwen, Jason Cooley. Stephen Gowan's out there. Little Dicky drama.
Uh-oh. Feet froze.
Wow. Yeah, that's definitely a storm to be on right now.
I think Reed Timmer would normally have been on that, but I think partly at the moment he's been past week or so he's been working on moving house. He's moving away. He's moving away from Oklahoma apparently.
Just take a look at this storm here real quick, everyone. Give me a second. Let me see. That's it. Right there. Boom. Check that out.
Oh.
So this is the storm we're looking at. Reported funnel cloud with it just north of Bridge Creek. Still showing 1.5 inch hail. Very well defined hook here. Sure, there's a good wall cloud on it as well. Let's look at the rotation on it. Not seeing a whole lot on the storm relative velocities. I mean, a little bit here just north of Bridge Creek, but still not very
scary.
well defined.
And Jerry, what about the correlation coefficient? There you go.
Yeah, not really seeing a whole lot on the correlation coefficient either. That jumps out at me saying tornado on the ground. I mean, correlation coefficients typically used for seeing any debris. So, I mean, if a tornado is not on the ground at the time, your correlation coefficient is not going to help you out a whole lot. It's not really good for. It's not really good for detecting rotation, as for detecting actual debris coming from a tornado, or possibly straight line winds and stuff like that. So, but that's it right there. Again, with the Bridge Creek, starting to see those higher values. But this is our storm relative velocities, which is typically where we'd see the rotation. Again, right now we're not seeing a whole lot, at least at the base. Let's put it up a little bit higher.
Jeff is reporting sirens going off in the area he's in right now.
10-4 there, Steven. Now, looking at it here at 0.9 degree, there's some really good rotation there on just north of Bridge Creek. So that's probably where it's at. And we're also seeing rotation, mid-level rotation there. MSI only 43.74, still pretty high. Let's go a little bit higher. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some rotation in it. Let me actually pull this up on GR2 Analyst for a second. Bring this over for you guys here. Okay, we need to come out here to Oklahoma. Let's get a more in-depth view of the storm here.
Can you hear the sirens, Joey?
Yeah, I hear it. I'm pulling it up on GR2 Analyst right now to take a look at this storm. Oh, yeah, look at that. Let me switch my source here on this. Ooh, let's scan it. Kind of lost it a little bit. Let's look at the NROT. Yeah, there's rotation in here. Right in here, which is due north of Bridge Creek. Let's get a volume scan on this.
Hey, Joey, where'd you go to on that?
I am looking at KTLX. Yeah, there's some rotation in here we're seeing.
So how you seen the rotation? Where do I go do that?
You go to NROT on GR2 Analyst, NROT.
Okay, got it.
And then you click 0.5. You can put it at different tilts. Again, 0.5 is, you're near your surface. And then you can go higher up in the storm and see if there's any, upper level rotation. Like you can see here at this 1.4, we've got a lot stronger rotation at 1.4 degrees versus the surface. So, I mean, there is rotation, but right now it's still about 5,000 to 10,000 feet up in the air right now. So that's probably where we're seeing that funnel cloud coming from. Right down in here. Right in this area. So definitely keep an eye on that. Yeah, I mean, there's some. It's not very... It's a lot of inbound winds, not a whole lot of outbound, honestly. A lot of inbound, not getting a whole lot of outbound. So this is the area, yeah. And this here, you can see all the rotations way up above. This is minimum 10,000 feet. A lot of it's higher than that. So, but definitely going to keep an eye on. Definitely going to keep an eye on it for sure. Let's see if we got any more questions from anyone. Hi there, Terry. Good evening.
What are you doing, Ben?
Just typing a message.
Oh.
Wow.
Another friend of mine wondering what I'm doing. Stomach is doing somersaults right now.
I'm sorry. Right. Man. Hurricane Matthews has made landfall in Cuba, was reported.
Ooh.
Hey Joe, let me call you back on StormCast, but I'll be on Zelo.
All right. I wish there was a way you could like disable things from auto loading.
Hey Joey, I've got a question for you.
Yes.
You know how when storms are forming in the Midwest, you get a dominant storm, and if you get a weaker storm next to it, it sort of absorbs the weaker storm into it. Would the same apply for when Matthew and Nicole are running parallel? Would Matthew not absorb Nicole into it?
It
Because
doesn't
Matthew's
really.
the dominant storm?
A great question. It wouldn't absorb a storm per se. What it can do is it's called the Fujiwara effect. What can actually happen is if you have two tropical cyclones that get super close, doesn't really absorb. If it were to absorb it, it loses its tropical characteristics. And at that point in time, it will become what's called an extra tropical cyclone, more of your just general low pressure system. But they don't really absorb into each other. But what can happen at sometimes is you'll have two storms that'll be moving, and as they get closer, they'll actually start like rotating around each other. Like you'll have one storm like orbiting the other storm, is what will typically happen with stronger hurricanes and stuff like that. You don't really see it a whole lot in the Atlantic. One place that you can see that is in the South Pacific, actually. Every now and then you'll see the Fujiwara effect, which is where it actually came from, a scientist that observed it in the South Pacific. Not very often, but it can happen where one storm will kind of they'll orbit each other around each other. So that's pretty cool to see. But again, it's pretty rare. So, but yeah, here we go. Hurricane Matthew made landfall near Huaco, Cuba around 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, so just a little over an hour ago. And the Bahamas are next in line for hurricane force and tropical storm force winds. Matthew is increasingly likely to have significant impacts across portions of the southeast U.S. later this week. Again, we could see impacts in Florida as early as Wednesday night into Thursday, and then potentially spreading northeast to coastal Georgia and the Carolinas on Friday and Saturday. All interests in the entire southeast U.S. coast need to monitor the forecast very closely and make your preparations for a hurricane now. Don't wait till it's the night before. Be making your preparations now, especially if you're, I'd say, if you're in Florida, you need to be finalizing your hurricane preparations. Definitely by tomorrow afternoon, have those hurricane preparations finalized. If you're in Georgia, those need to be done by Thursday night. And if you're in Carolinas, your hurricane preparations definitely all need to be taken care of no later than Friday. Again, the Carolinas, South Carolina seems like, not sure if it's a mandatory evacuation or voluntary evacuation, but it looks like the governor of South Carolina is planning on evacuating the entire coastal area of South Carolina. This would include places like Charleston and Myrtle Beach, all those areas, Hilton Head, all that would get evacuated. Storm surge is definitely going to be very dangerous across portions of the Florida coast, Georgia coast, all of these areas. Typically, what we're looking at here for Florida, we could see storm surge greater than 3 feet all the way up to some places may see it higher than 6 feet. Let's see here. I mean, 3 to 6 foot storm surge seems pretty likely Fort Pierce, definitely 3 to 6 foot. It looks like for the Fort Pierce area, and then north on National Hurricane Center's potential storm surge flooding map inundation. A lot of areas along the coast greater than 3 foot. Some places greater than a couple places greater than 6 foot. But let's see here. That's all greater than 3 feet. This is Indian Harbor Beach, Satellite Beach, Cocoa Beach, going to be greater than 3 feet. Cape Canaveral area, 3 to 6 feet, it looks like. So a lot of storm surge is going to be felt up the entire Florida East Coast. Wow. Let's see what it's like here. There's Daytona Beach, 3 to 6 feet. I mean, and it's not gonna. You have to remember, especially across southern Florida. Florida's low land. Elevation above sea level in some places, may only be 6 feet. So Jacksonville only a foot right now. That area. Let's see here what we're looking like. Wow. So a lot of storm surge possible. Man.
Hey, Joey, do you think it will hit landfall here in Charlotte, North Carolina?
Charlotte, North Carolina, you're a bit too far inland there.
Okay.
Yeah. If it's going to make landfall in North Carolina, it's going to be along the coast. Maybe,
Okay.
From the looks of it, it could be near Wilmington.
Mm-hmm.
That's not out of the question.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure. Sorry.
No
I
problem.
was just wondering.
But, I mean, Charlotte, North Carolina, you're definitely going to get some rain out of this, probably.
Oh, okay.
That's
right now.
possible. You might get some rain out of this, depending on how close it comes to the coast.
Yeah.
So, but you're not gonna really. That's really far inland.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect it to really move that far inland.
Okay.
I mean, right now it's not even really supposed to move very far inland at all. I mean, it's supposed to just kind of skirt the North Carolina coast.
Yeah.
Let's see what the
I wasn't really sure. I was like,
is.
yeah, it would take me days to get ready to evacuate, and I'm like, I have all my medical stuff, and it'd be take forever to get out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want. I'm sorry to get personal, but on the broadcast, but I didn't know what to do and stuff. I'm like, I'm freaking out because I'm like, if I have to evacuate, I'll have to bring all my stuff, and
Andy Rodriguez. He asks, is Miami going to get hit? Again, it all really depends on the strength of the Bermuda High and how far that pushes westward. The further west the Bermuda High builds in, the further west the track of Matthew will be. So if the high builds further west, then it could make a Florida landfall. I'm not saying Miami landfall, but there in Miami, you're definitely going to have tropical storm conditions, storm surge, a lot of heavy rain, hurricane conditions may be possible. I wouldn't be surprised to see them upgrade Miami-Dade, Broward counties to a hurricane watch potentially, especially if by tomorrow we see that it is forecast to move even further west. I haven't gotten to take a look at the latest models, but again, that's possible. Daytona Beach, That is your impacts up there in Daytona Beach. Definitely hurricane conditions up there. Likely. You could see winds at or around Daytona Beach, maybe as strong as 100 miles an hour, very possibly, or stronger with higher gusts. They're right along the coast. Because right now, Daytona Beach, that's Daytona Beach, Cape Canaveral area. That's kind of the area where Hurricane Matthew right now is forecast to come the closest to shore, is in that area. So we'll definitely have to see. But I would have more confidence in greater impacts in Daytona Beach than in Miami, Florida at this point in time. If I were in Daytona Beach, I would be prepared for at least a Category 3 hurricane to come roaring right behind. Another thing that we also haven't really talked about yet is tornado threat. Obviously, with any sort of landfalling tropical system, or even if it doesn't make landfall, we can always still see embedded tornadoes in some of those spiraling rain bands on the north and northeast side of the storm. So that is definitely going to be something to watch out for as well, the tornado threat. So especially I don't know if there's a huge tornado threat for the east coast of Florida, considering they're supposed to be on the western side of the storm. But for South Carolina, North Carolina, I think there's definitely going to be a tornado threat, especially if you're on the northern side of Matthew or on the northeast side of Matthew. Could see a tornado threat develop Friday night and Saturday across those areas. Excellent questions. Excellent questions. Any other questions? I like these questions that you guys bring to me. Let's take a look at the storm surge here along. They don't have storm surge forecast that far out. Oh man, Florence. They're not going to evacuate Florence. That might be where I go then. See, okay, because if they're evacuating the coast, then obviously I'm not going to be able to get to the coast. But I need to get as close to the coast as I can. So I'm actually right now taking a look at Google Maps to see exactly where I want to set up for. Conway, that may not be a bad area. Conway, Georgetown, I'm probably not going to be able to get to Georgetown. This is all swamp area. Francis Marjorie National Forest. You got Lake Marion. You see flooding there. Isn't there a river that goes in there? Santee Coastal Reserve, yeah. Manning. Okay, that's not a bad idea. Sumter. Okay. Okay, it's 25 miles inland from Charleston. That's pretty safe. Somerville, South Carolina. That may be where I end up setting up shop. Just inland from Charleston. again, I should be having my live stream up here on. I'll probably have it on Severe Studios starting Friday night. So be sure to be checking out our Facebook page. Facebook.com/extreme weather videos is the page. Also, subscribe to us here on YouTube if you're watching, because we'll be having live streaming coverage here on YouTube as well. All right. Well, I'm going to hop off of Periscope, but I will definitely be back on later. Awesome. So one thing I'm actually got to work on is this. So, all right. Well, we'll check back in around the 11 p.m. advisory and catch you all later. Again, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page, follow our Facebook and Twitter accounts, and we'll be tracking with you guys on there.